We're going to do a deep dive here on how to program your brand new Anytone DMR radio.
Everybody says DMR is a big learning curve, but Bridgecom's done an amazing job at taking that curve and flattening it to a point where I think most amateur radio users can handle it.
We've got a lot of new folks coming into our world wanting to help you guys be successful, and so we do a lot of these live streams.
Online videos are phenomenal.
All right, whenever you're ready. All right, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the pre-Hamvention special we're putting on the DMR workshop here at Bridgecom Systems. My name's Ron. My call sign, as you can see here, is KC0QVT, and I'm super glad that you've taken a bit of your Saturday morning, possibly, to hang out with me and let me show you all of what's going on with DMR. This is a workshop, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time with you, probably about an hour, maybe a little less, on showing you how to get on the air in DMR. So just want to say thanks for attending. I've got a slide deck that's available on the sign-up sheet that you should have gotten. I'm going to be going through that, so if you want to follow along with me, that'd be great. So in the interest of just getting after it, let's go. But again, this is a DMR Workshop 2024. Thank you for being here. So we are going to help take your amateur radio journey to the next level. Okay, so the goals of this webinar is, number one, we want to have fun. And then I want to show you what DMR is and what's happening in ham radio. And then I want to show you how to set up a DMR hotspot similar to this, and how to program a simple code plug into an Anytone 878 UV2 Plus radio. And then we're going to make some contacts. So let's go into DMR. So what is DMR? Well, DMR stands for Digital Mobile Radio. It was designed primarily for professional radio. Its purpose is to allow radios to more efficiently use limited commercial spectrum. And this is done by using what's called TDMA technology. What it does is it doubles the capacity of the allowable band for the commercial area. Okay, channels are then used, they're time sliced. A 12.5 kilohertz channel is time sliced into two channels. So you've got two calls potentially happening at the same time. And we're not going to delve too much into all the technical aspects of DMR. We just want to know, hey, it's out there. It was developed by the professional folks, but the hams have adopted it. And that's what we want to talk about. So why DMR and ham radio? Okay, as hams, this is what I've learned over the years, is that we want to be prepared, okay? We got our licenses because we saw, a need for that. It was great to be on the air, storm spotting, amateur radio emergency services, and just to be prepared to have a way to communicate with folks that we might not otherwise do. And then, of course, we want to learn new skills. That's been part of it. I'm an engineer myself, and so adding new skill sets to your resume is always a good thing. And I know that as hams, we want to learn more skills, and digital radio certainly fills that purpose. And then, of course, another aspect of it, which is one of the nice icing on the cake, is to make more contacts. Oftentimes, when we're meeting each other, it's not, hey, I'm Ron, last name, it's Ron, I'm Ron KC0QVT. So yeah, we want to make more contacts, especially over the air, and DMR and ham radio just fit perfectly, and I'll show you why. Okay, so what's going on? Okay, so for the past 15 years, hams have been building worldwide networks that consist of FM repeaters and RF hotspots linked via the internet. It's getting bigger every day. In fact, worldwide, there are over 250,000 hams who've gotten into DMR, and it's steadily growing at about 500 per week. And I'll show you where that is here in a moment. But and I'm going to ask you, will you be one of those folks? And the largest DMR network is called Brandmeister, and there are over 6,000 linked repeaters and almost 18,000 of these hotspots, all connected at one time. So DMR, learning a new skill. DMR, I'm also in the commercial area of the spectrum as well as amateur radio, and I can assure you this is a skill that's in high demand. There are not enough radio people out there. And so I know there's a lot of older hams. This would be a great skill to maybe pass along to a younger person if they're interested in a career in radio. I know at Bridgecom Systems, we're always looking for people that might possess these skills or that we can train. And oftentimes we're finding that we have to train people to learn this. So yes, adding digital radio to your skill set as a ham and as a professional and knowing how to communicate is an awesome skill to have, I can assure you. Okay, DMR is one of the best ways to make more contacts. Okay, hams, you can make contacts all over the world. And just real quick, by way of example, so where is the activity? And I'm going to hop into what's called the hose line on a Brandmeister network. Now, this is where you can actually see the activity that's taking place right now on this massive network called Brandmeister. Okay. And as you can see, there's folks making calls on the talk group called Worldwide. There's some folks all over in Europe. There's some people in the United States. And this is you don't need a license to actually monitor these. So you simply click on one of these links and it'll open up an audio channel to your computer or your phone, and you can actually see what's going on. So that is a quick snapshot of what you can do without a license. And as I've been talking about earlier, like the popular DMR networks that are available, the first one is the largest is Brandmeister. And as I stated, there's 18,000 hotspots and over 6,000 repeaters on that network. And I'll just real quick snap through this. As I showed, you can listen on the hose line. There's another smaller network called TGIF network. DMR Plus is available. And then another one called Free DMR. And by the way, these links are in this spreadsheet slideshow that I've done here, so you can see for yourself as you click through this. So I'll open this up and you can kind of get a snapshot of the current activity of what's going on right now. So as you can see, there's 6,816 repeaters on the air right now, and there's 18,712 hotspots, 46 servers or master servers, and right now there's anywhere between 38 and 43, 45 active calls at one time. And then, of course, you can see on this report all the various countries that are participating on this network. So as you can see, it's very, very active. And it's why folks are getting into this. So the good question then becomes, well, how do I start using DMR as a ham? Well, the first thing you need is a ham radio license. And if you don't have one, that's okay. Our friends at Ham Radio Prep have a great program, and they help you get licensed, get your technician class. We've got a discount code here. If you're interested, use Bridgecom at checkout and get 10% off. So if you need to get a license, that's the first step, is to study for the exam and get you a ham radio license so that you can play in the sandbox. It's not too terrible hard to get. I highly recommend it. I got licensed back in 2003. And so I've been a ham engineer, business owner for quite some time, and it's been really helpful to my life. I've got uncles that are hams, and they showed me all this stuff when I was a little kid in the 1970s, and I'd see them playing with radios, and just probably planted the seed for why I'm where I'm at today. Okay, so the next thing you need after that is a DMR ID, and you need a DMR radio, a handheld or a mobile. You need a hotspot or be in proximity to a DMR repeater. And then, of course, you'll need a Windows-based computer to run what's called the CPS, or the programming software. So those are the things that you need to start using it. Okay, so again, a DMR ID, and going back, you need a ham radio license to even start the process. Okay, so the next step is to go to a website called radioid.net and apply for a DMR ID. This is a free process. It's your ticket into the DMR world, and it is a must. It's like your telephone number. And so radioid.net are the folks that manage the DMR telephone book, and the process of getting a DMR ID is generally pretty quick. You'll need to provide proof that you have a license as part of the process. And let me really quick show you this website real quick, because I want to show you what's going on. And this is something that's really cool. You can actually see the level of activity of who's getting into this. Okay, so today already 44 new DMR IDs have been issued. That means that 44 hams have jumped on the train, and in the last 7 days 506 folks, and then in the last 30 days 1926. And I've been watching this for quite some time now, and I can assure you this is not slowing down. In fact, it looks like it's even speeding up. And right now there's 259,517 DMR IDs that have been issued worldwide. And again, like I said, 506 just in the last 7 days, and that is not slowing down. So that's why it's a very popular activity, and that's why, you know, we're doing all this. We're behind it. So a DMR radio, okay, you need a DMR capable radio to play in the sandbox. There are many DMR handhelds on mobiles on the market, and in this webinar, I'm going to use the one that we support here at Bridgecom Systems, and that's the Anytone 878 UV2 Plus. And here's a link to where you can get one if you'd like. And we also, as part of the journey, we offer a training course. This is about 150 videos consisting of around 30 plus hours worth of content that you get for free when you buy your radio from us. No other vendors doing this, by the way. So I'd like you to just consider, when you do get a radio from someone, you might want to ask, you know, how much support am I going to get? Who's going to help me if I have an issue? We've taken that next step and added all this additional value to the radio when you purchase it. So we want you to be successful. If you're not successful, nobody wins. And then, of course, it allows for you to tell your friends and pass the word along, because it is fun. It is really, really fun. It's like going to an amusement park in some ways. Okay, the next thing, now that you've got a radio, is a hotspot. This is the best and quickest way to get on the air. And it's like kind of like a repeater in your pocket. And you'll want a hotspot that runs an application called Pi-Star. Okay, this hotspot, and I'll show you one here in a moment, and you kind of see it over here on the screen. But this allows you to have total control over your ham radio journey in DMR. It's like a repeater in your pocket, as I stated. And with you need a hotspot that has internet access, and then you can make QSOs to people all over the world. As I showed at that previous screen on Brandmeister, all those hotspots there, those 18,000 plus hotspots, are connected to the various servers that manage that network. And this is the little vehicle through which you can gain access to it. And so you can either physically connect this hotspot to your internet, or you can Wi-Fi connect it to your home router at your house or on your cell phone. So it's totally untentacles you from anything, any kind of physical connection if you want to go that route. Or you could use you could have it in your house and just cover your entire house with RF there. Okay, so what we're going to do, and this is where the workshop gets going, is we're going to connect a hotspot to the Brandmeister network. And as you gain experience, you can connect your hotspot to other networks. But in this workshop today, we're going to go with Brandmeister. So we're just going to review things. We're going to need a DMR ID. We're going to need to register and obtain a Brandmeister self-care account and password. And I've provided all the links here necessary for you to do this. Now, all these things I've already done because I've been in this for a while, but I'm wanting to show you what's going on. So we will need the DMR ID. Okay, so I'm going to take this hotspot out of the box and let's get started. And I will show you where to get all the things that you need. So we've got a SkyBridge hotspot here. Okay. Set this aside. Let's get started. And got an antenna. Oftentimes we get asked, what's the transmit output power? It's about 10 milliwatts. Okay, so it's not a whole lot of power, but and if you put this up high, like say on your second floor or something like that, you probably could cover, I would say maybe close to a quarter mile. Don't quote me on that. I can't say with 100% certainty that's what will happen, but it does bathe your house in enough RF to where you can communicate, and also if you're, let's say, in an RV park or something and you put it on like an outside antenna or something like that, you could probably walk around and still use your hotspot if you so desire. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to connect this up and I'm going to turn it on, and then I'll get the product cam going here so we can see. Let's go ahead and populate that. Okay, so what it's doing is it's starting up, and this is what you'll see. And hopefully everything will go correctly. And what it's going to do is go out and get what's called an IP address. So let's go ahead and pop over to the computer here. All right. So upon completion of, you should see this screen in a minute. So let's go ahead and see what happens. It takes about a minute for it to. And there it goes. Okay, great. So we have a connection to the Ethernet here in the shop. All right, so what we're interested in at this screen is this IP address. And as you can see, I've circled it. And go ahead and hop over to the product cam. Okay, in this case, yeah, we're on 192.168.1.15. Okay, so what we want to do is hop over to our screen because we want to log into Pi-Star. So if you would put the slideshow back up. Yeah, Pi-Star is the most popular application that allows you to configure your hotspot, which is what we want to do. And so we're going to use a computer connected to the local area network, the same as the hotspot. And from an internet browser, we want to type in the IP address of the hotspot, and that should load the page. So let's go over here. I'm going to get a browser open here. I'm going to just, whoops, I don't want to do that. I want to open up a new window. Here we go. Okay, so we are on 192.168.1.15. So I'm going to type that into the screen here, 168.1.115. Okay, this is what you should see if the hotspot's working and everything's in good order, okay? Now let's hop back over to the slideshow. Okay, and the SkyBridge startup page is what you should see here, and we confirmed that. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to press the admin button to set up. So that's this button right here on the right, okay? Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to press the configuration, and we should be, let's see. Well, apparently it already thinks I'm logged into it. Okay, on your first journey with this hotspot, you'll be asked your username and password. And so the username and the password is Pi-Star, Pi-Star, and Raspberry. And then we want to sign in. Okay, so I think, yeah. So we want to go to configuration. All right, and so we just press that, and we want to start populating all of these fields with this information, okay? So let's just jump in here. The node call sign is your call sign. And in my case, it's KC0QVT. Now, interestingly, and this is one of the cool things about this version of setting up your SkyBridge, is that it will actually go out there and find your DMR ID. Now, I'm going to show you real quick how you can do that. Let's just go to radioid.net, because it might be you just need more information. So you can actually go in here and search this database, and you can get your DMR ID. So like, I I can type in KC0QVT, and I've done that before on this computer, and I can actually search, and you'll see there's my DMR ID, and I've already applied for this. And what you want to do to get that is you want to log in and sign up here. And this is where you want to set up an account. And then, of course, that's the process you go through as we showed in the previous screens on how to get a DMR ID. So I've already gotten my ID, and it does know about it. And I'm at 3129172. Okay, so let's go ahead and complete the setup here. Okay, so set the time zone of your location. Okay, we're already set up. I'm in the central time zone. We are going to be using 446.55. A lot of this stuff on this particular setup is already done for you, which is really cool. Okay, so if you do get a SkyBridge from us, a lot of this is going to be pre-set up already, but there is some stuff that you're still going to have to set up. And some of that is your longitude and latitude of your location, which I'll fit in those fields here in a moment. So I'm going to type in Smithville, Missouri, longitude and latitude. Now this is where we're located here. And this allows for the network to get an idea of where you're located physically, so that you, the folks that you're making contacts with can kind of get a snapshot of where in the world are you. Okay, and then of course we're here in Smithville, Missouri, and this will populate on the Brandmeister page for your specific profile. Okay, so now that we've got the time zone, the longitude and the latitude, and the town and country of your location, it's now time to tie the actual hotspot to a specific Brandmeister server. And as you can see here, the three available for us here in the United States is BM 3102, 3103, and 3104. And here we're in the Midwest, so we're going to be on 3102. So I'm going to scroll down. And by the way, there's a lot of things in this page. I'm not going to get into any of this right now because it's not necessary for the purposes of this demonstration and this workshop. I mean, once you get to going, you can get in here and to your heart's content and explore this. But we are just going to scratch the surface in this workshop. I want you guys to have success. Okay, so we are able with this particular hotspot to use several different modes. You can see D-Star, which is a popular amateur radio digital protocol, YSF, which is another one, M17 is a new protocol that's coming on. I know it's been around since 2017, but it is making some inroads into the digital landscape. You'll also see NXDN, which is a commercial approach, and then also P25 and POXAG, which I believe that's paging stuff. I don't know much about POXAG, so that's an area that I'm going to have to explore at some point if I ever get around to it. And then what's also cool is you can do some cross-moding, which is something really cool where you can do what's called interoperability between different digital modes. And this is something you could possibly explore as well as you gain experience with this, but we're not going to get into that today. Okay, so as you can see, these are the servers that are available to us. And as you can see, it's already pre-populated with Brandmeister 3102, and they've done a lot of homework for you. Now, the Brandmeister hotspot security, okay, what is that? Well, that is the password that you set up when you set up your Brandmeister account. And I'm just going to quickly go in here and show you that after you've set up your self-care account, there's going to be a field in here for where you would populate your Brandmeister password for your hotspot, and that's going to be down here. Now, I've already set this up, so I'm not going to do that right now. What's already been done, but also this is where you would do that, okay? And that's what you want to populate in this field right here. So I'm going to go ahead and type in what I know my password to be. Okay, so now that we've got the Brandmeister server set up and the Brandmeister security password, and I've already went to the self-care account and got that, or that's where you'd set that up. Okay. And then the next place, or the next two things we want to be concerned with, is what's called your color code and your time slot. Okay. As I stated earlier in the presentation, DMR uses 2 time slots on 1 frequency, and this allows them to, or allows the system to use 2 simultaneous calls, more efficient way of using the spectrum. These hotspots, by and large, use time slot 2, and that is a fixed time. That'll be a fixed time slot for them, so it'll place all the calls on time slot 2. And then the DMR color code for this example and this presentation is 1. Now you can select this to be anywhere from 1 to, I believe it goes all the way, I think all the way to 16. And to best explain what a color code is, it's like your PL tone that you might be familiar with on your analog repeaters. Okay. Just checking, I saw the screen blip out. All right, so we have got this all set up, and now we want to click Apply Changes to restart the device. And you can see that is a nice quick way to do that. It stays pinned to the top of it. And we're going to go ahead and restart this. We're going to apply these changes, and then we're going to pop over here to the product cam, take a look at what's going on as these changes are applied. You can see here the, while that's doing that, you can see here the hotspot is stopped, and it should restart and show the name of, or my call sign and my DMR ID on it. So we'll take a peek at that. Wait for this to reboot. And we can check that as well by going to the dashboard here, and we'll see. Okay, this is cool. We're already having success, and I'll tell you why. If you click that, you should see on the left side, you should see the DMR should go green. You should see DMR Net should go green, and you should also see down here the Brandmeister server, the DMR master server should be golden. And of course, this is our live screen, and it is. And then if you look over here on the product cam, you can see that there's my call sign and my DMR ID. So we have set up the hotspot correctly. And that's evidenced by going back into your web browser here, and you can see the DMR is green, DMR Net's green, and we're all enabled and ready to go. So I think with confidence, we can use this hotspot. And then one way to check that is we can go out to the Brandmeister network and actually search for hotspots. And I should be able to type in my call sign here, and I should populate, and I can see, yes, there I am. I am attached to the network. And that's a good sign. That means you have attached to the mothership, as it were. Okay, so we've checked that and verified that, and I can say with 100% certainty the hotspot has successfully attached to the network. And by the way, this has been made really easy with this setup that you get with this hotspot. Okay, so now the next step is the Anytone radio. This is the device you're going to use. It's one of the most popular radios on the market. I'm just going to quickly give you a once over on it. It's a dual band commercial and amateur radio, but it's primarily made for commercial radio, but the hams have adopted it. It has both analog and DMR, and it's probably one of the best radios on the market. It's got GPS built in. You could do all APRS, receive and transmit for both analog and digital. Nice radio, and it's one we heavily support. So I've already got one out of the box, and I'm going to go ahead and put my antenna on it. And what we want to do is we want to turn this thing on, and we want to find out what, okay. You're going to see when you follow, you're going to find out what version of the firmware is in the radio, and this is what you want to do real quick. So if we could bring focus up to the, there we go, the 878. So what's going to happen when you pull a brand new radio out of the box is you're going to see this screen here. So if we could hop over to the product cam. All right, this is what you see here, okay? So this is brand new, so we're going to confirm this, and this is going to go through a startup sequence. And what we're interested in doing is finding the version of firmware that's in this radio. Okay, now that's done. If you hop over here to the slideshow, so after the startup screen has disappeared, the menu button, press the menu button to bring up the main menu, and let's see, that display goes away. So we're going to bring up the main menu, and we're going to click on settings. We're going to select that, and we're going to go down here to device info, and we're going to scroll down here and see that the version of the firmware is 3.03. So we need that piece of information. So now that we know it's 3.03, okay, so we want to download and install the CPS. Now I've provided a link here to where you can go and get this on our website. Okay, so now that you know the version of the firmware in the radio, you need the corresponding version of the CPS, the computer programming software. So you want to go to the Bridgecom Systems support page and download the correct version of CPS. And one of the important factors is that the firmware and the CPS versions should match. So I'll open this window real quick, and so you can see we want 3.03, which is the latest version. Now, in the interest of time, I've gone ahead and downloaded that and installed this on this notebook computer, but it's a very straightforward process, and it's just like installing anything else on your computer. And if you need some support with that, don't hesitate to call my team here at the office, and we'll certainly get you that assistance. Okay, so now we want to connect the radio to the computer. So let's get the programming software started here. And this is the version. So this is what you should see. Just get my windows right here. Okay, with the radio turned on, using the included programming cable, securely connect the, what happened? Okay, going to connect the programming cable to the radio here, and you probably want to snug it really tight. Okay, and we are going to select the COM port and go up here to set COM. So what we're going to see here is the COM port. You'll notice as I connect the radio to the computer, the COM port's going to display. Okay, so we know it's COM 3 because that's the one that just showed up. So I'm going to click that OK. All right, so we've done that. We've selected the COM port. Now we want to read from the radio. All right, and this is what you want to do. So it's reading from the radio. It got its information. And what we can see here is the default personality profile that's currently in the radio. And we're going to clean the slate and delete the default channels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on these, and I want to delete all of these because we're going to start from scratch, and we're going to make a code plug, as they call it, from scratch. So let me delete all of these. And we're going to build one very quickly here, I hope, so that you guys can see what's going on. All right, so we cleaned the slate, and now we want to build the simple code plug. Okay, so we want to add the DMR ID to the radio list. And that's done by going down here to digital, and you've got this radio ID list over here on the left. And by the way, this webinar is being recorded, so you guys will be able to step back through this once you get your radio and get to going. So we're going to, help you with that too. So you can basically go back and review that. So This is where you want to put your DMR ID. And as we've stated, that is going to be 312-9172. That's mine, 312-9172. And on the next field is your call sign. So I put KC0QVT, and 0216 is how you get that 0 with the slash through it. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, so this is where you add your particular phone number, if you will, to the radio. And so this is how folks are going to know who you are on the network if they have you in their list, because the list can be downloaded from Brandmeister. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to add talk groups to the radio. Okay, now talk groups are akin to like interest groups. These are statewide talk groups. I mean, we can click on this link here real quick and you can see all the types of talk groups that potentially are out there. You've got people from various countries that have created talk groups. You've got talk around channel type talk groups. You've got interest groups, and just click on this link and you can step through I think there's at least over 1,500 different talk groups. You got statewide, as I've shown here. And then of course you can create your own talk group. So step through that. It's pretty cool. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the following talk groups. We're going to add a disconnect talk group. We're going to add a parrot. We're going to add the Ohio statewide, and then we're going to add a Papa Chat. That's a talk group in California. And then as a bonus, we're going to add the worldwide talk group 91. Okay, so in order to add these, you want to go over here and let's see, hang on a minute. Radio, okay, yeah, the digital contact list. Okay, yeah, this is what you want to click, the contact talk group field right there on the left. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add these talk groups. So the first one we're going to add is called Talk Group Disconnect. That's talk group number 4000. And it's a group call. So we're going to call this, and this is the alpha tag, disconnect, and it's a group call already, and the group ID is 4000, and the alert will leave as none. Okay, the next one we're going to add is the parrot. So let's click that field. And this is a private call. Okay, it's very important that this stays private on that one. And that's going to be talk group 9990, and no call alert. And we'll add Ohio. So we'll talk Ohio. And that's a group call. And that is 3139. And we're going to add Papa Chat. I'll just call it Papa Chat. And that's a group call. And that's 31077. Whoops. What's wrong? It's group call 31077. And let's add the final one, which is talk group 91. And that's going to be worldwide. And that's a group call, and that is 91. All right. Okay, so we've added all those talk groups, and once we've entered that, this is how it should look. And as you can see, that is what we see. Okay, now the next step is you've got to create channels in the radio that use these talk groups, okay? And the parameters that we're going to be concerned with is the frequency with which the hotspot works off of, which is 446.55, which is in the amateur radio area of the spectrum. No license is, I mean, you don't need an FCC a license to transmit on the hotspot. Now, you do need a license yourself to transmit on that radio and use the station. But as far as like the equipment itself, that's not required. It's the actual user of the system. So let's go ahead and set up these channels, and that's going to be done by going up here, and you're going to see this is where we cleaned out that list. And so we're going to build up these channels. And so I'm going to click on this. The first entry, which is 1, and I'm going to call this disconnect. okay? And it's going to be on 446. Just remember 446.550. And it's going to receive and transmit on that frequency. Okay, DMR mode is simplex. Color code is 1. Time slot is 2. Okay. DMR mode, yeah, we want simplexes. That's what I was looking for right there. Okay, and we want to turn the power down. We don't want it high. We're going to leave it at low here. And it is a 12.5 kilohertz channel. And then the next thing we want to do is select the actual contact, which is also the talk group. So we've got this list of talk groups that we've added, and it looks like 4,000 is already added. So we've done that. So let's go ahead and add that. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to just duplicate these. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate these and change the alpha tag and the talk groups. And I'm doing this because this makes it really quick. We're going to copy this. We're going to paste it. Whoops. Yeah. Paste. Whoops. Yeah. Go down here and paste these in here. And I believe we're going to add 5 channels. Okay, so let's go in here and change the alpha tag. The first one will be, or we got the disconnect. We're going to change this to parrot. And then we're going to change the contact to the parrot. And then we're going to click OK. This is how you can build a code plug very quickly, actually. So we're going to change the next one to Ohio. That's the alpha tag for the channel. And then we know that's Ohio talk group. Click OK. And then we want to do Papa chat. And it's that. Double click and click OK. And then our bonus is worldwide. One little point here is that your radio ID is my call sign. That's what, when we entered the radio ID at the very beginning, that's where you get that ID there. Now, if you had a radio of a whole bunch of people using this radio, that's where you would set that up. So it makes it for a versatile system here, but that's the one we're using. Okay, so now I've got all my channels created on 446.550. They're all digital channels. They're all set up for low power, 12.5 kilohertz channel spacing. I've got the contact name, the digital, I'm sorry, the channel name is all digital and the contact, okay? So this is set up, and that's what it should look like completed, and that is what we have. Okay, so now the next step is to create a zone. None of this stuff works if you don't create a zone and put all these channels in a zone. And so you must create a zone, which is a collection of channels. And that's done by going over here on the left side, and you're going to see that this is another array of spaces here. So we're going to call this the workshop zone. And we're going to simply add all these channels that are available into that zone. And that is what makes this thing work. Okay, so we've done that. Now, a little bit of cleanup that I'd like to do in the interest of making this a lot more user-friendly, and just to show you what you can do to customize the radio to your liking, is adding your name to it, some talk permit tones, keeping the display lit. This is some area where you can really get flexible. You can put a splash screen on your radio. This does have a nice display that allows you to put a custom image on it. So what we want to do is we want to go over to this thing called optional settings on the left side of the screen. And what this does is it pulls up this tab sheet full of these tabs that allow you to customize your radio. And I'm not going to get way deep into this, but there are a few things that I just like to set up because it's going to make the radio a lot more user-friendly at first. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to click this display tab, and we want to set the auto backlight duration to always. And this prevents the radio from constantly going off, and then you got to turn the volume knob to get it to display. And this kind of helps clean that up. So we're going to go and click the display tab, which is, where is it? Is that here? Ah, there it is. Couldn't see it. All right, we want to set that, I'm sorry, the auto backlight duration, we want that to go to always, okay? And we'll keep that there. And then we want to go to the work mode tab, and we want to set the display mode to channel, and that allows you to see the alpha tags you created instead of the frequencies. So that makes it user friendly. And then make sure the working mode is set to amateurs. So we want to set the display mode to channel, and then we want to set the working mode to amateur. And by the way, this is either amateur or professional. So we're using the radio in amateur mode, and this is where you actually set that up. So we want an amateur mode, and then we want to change the sub-channel mode to off. That allows for the, that's for how it'll display just one channel on the radio. Okay, and then in the alert tone, this is where you can get real creative in terms of how you want like a call permit tone, like when you press the PTT button on the radio, and you can have it give all kinds of chirps or whatever and make it sound really cool. This is where that's done. So I changed the select the talk permit tone to digital and analog, and this allows you to hear a beep and letting you know when you've accessed the hotspot. So that's going to be, see, talk permit tone is right here, and that's going to be digital and analog. And I believe, yeah, and this is where you can put some icing on the cake. On this power on tab, this is where you can actually change it to where when this thing powers up, it'll display your name. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my name and call sign in this field right here. So I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to, oops. Custom character. So we're going to change that to Ron. Let's see, Ron. And then you got to clean these out from the other characters. And then the next line is going to be my call sign. So I'm going to do K. See, I don't know if I can put that custom character. Oh, you can't. It's going to be KC. Oh, I did. QVT. And then backspace. And that cleans that out. Okay. No power on password or anything like that. Okay. So let's write the radio and test. Okay. Well, let's see. We're going to write the radio. So you go back up here to program, write to radio. Do you wish to write to the radio? Yes. Other data. Okay, it's writing this profile. Now, if everything goes like I hope it should, I believe we can make a contact. Okay, it does say, and I'm interested in the product cam. I'll bring this over here. It does, we'll just see what happens. Pull that up. Should say my name. Yep. Oh, it doesn't like that /0. Let me fix that. I'll fix that real quick. That's why that funny character, I don't think the radio knows what that is or how to do anything with that. So let me change that real quick. Power on. Let me change that /0. Make it a 0. All right, and I'm going to rewrite the radio. Learn something new all the time. That was the first time I've ever tried to put that /0 in there. So writing the radio. Okay, so it's copying the data to the radio. Do not turn it off. Okay, that fixed that. All right, so now, okay, I got the disconnect. I've got the parrot. I've got Ohio statewide. And when you turn the volume knob, it does that. By the way, you can see the time up there. I'd never set the time on the radio. That's something that's a little bit further down the road, but I would set that up at some point. Then you've got Papa Chat. Then you've got worldwide. So the first thing you want to do with one of these, after you've done your homework, we're going to put the product cam over here, and I'm going to see about hitting the parrot. And if everything goes well, this should respond back to me. KC0QVT, parrot, checking the radio. You can see that it heard my
KC0QVT, Parrot, checking the radio.
all right. That is, if you can hit the parrot, you're in. And that is what you want. So now what we want to do is we want to make a contact, which is why we're in this. So let's, for fun, let's do a QSO, or see if we can make a QSO with somebody in Ohio. And now, just in the interest, I did, let me put the radio here. I've got it on the Ohio talk group. And we'll watch the SkyBridge as I do this, and we'll see who responds. KC0QVT monitoring Ohio statewide. Anybody copy? Okay. Stephen said he didn't say anything, but he did respond. Let's see. I'm going to probably need to write down these call signs. I'm not good at remembering them. KC0QVT monitoring Ohio statewide. Anybody copy? Let's see. That's why you put more than one talk group in. We can go ahead and do a disconnect, and I'll disconnect from the let's see. Should say not linked. Okay. Let's try Papa Chat. KC0QVT monitoring Papa Chat. Anybody copy? Well, I picked some talk groups that there's nobody on them. I know there's going to be somebody on worldwide, so let me try that. Well, no, here's WA6BF.
Alpha 6 Bravo Foxtrot Whiskey.
Oh, Eric's on there. I think I stepped on him. Okay, we got NK. This is where you've got to really monitor what's going on and listen, but you can open up the channel here. So Whiskey Alpha 6 Bravo Foxtrot Whiskey. Let's see.
Whiskey Alpha 6 Bravo Foxtrot Whiskey.
Okay. Whiskey Alpha 6 Bravo Foxtrot Whiskey. This is Ron KC0QVT. How you doing, Brent? We got a little delay.
Doing very well. Just watching you here on the computer, trying to learn a little more about the SkyBridge and all. Am I getting through?
Absolutely, you're getting through loud and clear. Thank you so much. Well, while I've got you here, what is if as far as your DMR journey, what are you looking to do?
Well, I'm going to be traveling here, and I want to set the SkyBridge up so I can take it with me. Right now, I've got a very small problem with it. I lost the power, and I have to do some resetting on it. So, to get that done, I should be okay. Ron.
Oh, nice. Are you talking through a local repeater, or are you talking through a hotspot? I didn't catch that.
It's a hotspot. It's a little hotspot I bought on Amazon just to get by. It's my backup, so that's what I'm on now, Ron.
Oh, nice. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you for chiming in. If I may ask, did you? I'm assuming you're probably in Southern Cal, and did the Aurora make it that far south? We saw the Aurora last night here in Missouri, which is incredible. We don't get to see that very often, so I thought I'd ask him. I don't know if you guys. Let's see.
I am in Southern Cal, halfway between San Diego and Los Angeles. And I did not see it if it did. I was probably not around at that time.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for chiming in. I'm going to go ahead and release the channel here for you, but thank you so much for chiming in. Whiskey Alpha 6 Bravo Foxtrot Whiskey. This is KC0QVT 73, my friend. So I got to meet a friend named Brent. So that's really cool. So this was the intent by this. You can make friends and just talk about whatever. So let's see what.
KC0QVT. Have a great day. Enjoy your program. 73 WA6VFW.
All right. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and hit the disconnect and see if that gets me. That's the TG4000 that you see right there. All right. Okay. Now that releases it so I can go out and go tread into the worldwide. Now this is where things are going to get interesting, and this is kind of cool. So I'm going to go over here to the product cam, and I'm going to just open up the channel. Okay. And as you,
Delta, Golf, Sierra Romeo, Delta Lima 2, November Sierra, Delta Lima 4, Foxtrot, Charlie Tango, Delta Golf 8, Oscar Bravo, Delta Lima 4, Golf, Charlie, Juliet, Delta Lima 1, Sierra Tango, Delta Charlie 4, Tango, India, Mike, Delta Lima 6, November, Alpha Charlie. Any for any other stations from Germany? Any?
oh wow, they're actually doing a net right now, a Saturday morning net. I forgot about that. So this guy's doing check-ins. This is really cool. This is a neat thing that's happening with the radio. So you could actually participate in this worldwide net, and this thing goes on forever. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to go ahead and hop back over to the computer because I think I've shown you guys how to, get a radio, get a hotspot, and get on the air. And so let's just, the good question then is, hop over to the screen, where do you go from here? Okay, so you want to get a radio and get a hotspot and start the journey. We do have a link here for a special offer that we're promoting. We'd love to work with you. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to help you get on the air with DMR. And we have some nice arrangements here. You can see that the workshop's going on, but we've got some special deals for this workshop going into Hamvention. If any of you guys want to get something and then we can bring it to Hamvention, that'd be great. We'll work with my team. We can set you up with a plug and play package, but or get you a radio, but we've got these special offers here. We've got the SkyBridge upgrade. If you've already got a SkyBridge, you've got a plug and play package, and then you've got this ultimate ham shack package, as you can see here. I don't know if you can move. Yeah, all this stuff. You got a mobile, handheld, Bluetooth speaker mic. The ultra code plugs are part of the deal right now. All the trainings. So there's a special offers page here, and then you can review that. So that's in that link. And then, of course, as you can see, this rabbit hole is very deep, and I just barely scratched the surface. We do have a Bridgecom Systems University Live YouTube channel. I would invite you to subscribe to that. If you're not already there, we'd love to get you partnered up with us. You'll get all of our content that comes out. We drip out content daily, helping people get the information they need. We have a Facebook group page. Also, you can go to radioid.net and you can download the entire contact list, that 250,000 person list. You can actually pull into the radio, and so that your radio will display the actual person. It won't be just a number like a telephone number. It's like your caller ID will display if you've got your contact list in the radio. That'll add the alpha tag. Also, we invite you to join our Facebook group page. This has got over 16,000 members in it, and they're all sharing and learning technical information. And just click that link and request to join. We'd love to meet you there as well. And there's a lot of great people in that group. And then one of the final things is BC Plus. This is a membership program that we have for folks seeking community. And we'd love to have you as part of that. But anyway, I want to thank you so much for taking your an hour of your day. And I hope you learned a lot. My team is available to you. If you have any questions, just reach out to us here at 816-532-8451 or send us an email at contactus@bridgecomsystems.com. We also have some technical support. If you want any help with any radios, that you've got your Anytone or your Skybridge or your repeaters or whatever. But anyway, thank you so much for spending your Saturday, and I look forward to seeing you on the air. My name's Ron. I'm KC0QVT, and it's been a pleasure to serve you today, and we look forward to meeting you on the air.